Emily, in your opinion, what makes a house a home?
I think it's more about the people you're with rather than the material items because, I mean, your brain is technically more emotionally connected to people than it is to items, even though items may bring back memories or things like that. But what makes a home is the people that you're with.
Okay. The people you're with, would you say like experiences that you have, sort of thing?
Yes. I would definitely say experiences and the moments that you share together, as whether it's family or with your spouse or kids or whatever, but I definitely think that plays a huge part. Even friends, they can be your home too.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think one of the keys is what I want to do and what I wanted to explain is creating an environment that people can feel comfortable in, and really how that happens. I'm actually from Alberta. I come from a very cold place. Where are you actually from?
I'm from Arizona, so
Okay.
I'm from polar opposite.
The desert, I guess. So what I wanted to talk about was actually air conditioning, and how that's changed over time. But how do you kind of get cool throughout the year? What do you do?
Well, in Arizona, you survive off of air conditioning. You need it to survive because it gets up to 117,
Yeah.
sometimes even higher than that. And if you don't have air conditioning, the other way I can think of to cool off is honestly by going swimming.
Yeah.
So air conditioning plays a huge part, I would say.
Yeah. No, and I think that's one of the key things as well as like the place that you're in. As we're living in Idaho right now, like air conditioning is still really important. It's actually a really interesting industry. Nationally, there's actually $108 billion in 2018 alone. There's $108 billion that was spent on air conditioning, and that's actually expected to grow by 10% annual growth every single year. And that's actually something that's really, really interesting.
That is interesting.
There's a lot of money that's going into this industry, and that allows you as a consumer to get air conditioning at a more affordable price and with better technology. But just kind of recapping on what you're using in Arizona, what kind of level of air conditioning would you say you had?
So this was when I was in high school living with my parents, and I don't know. I want to say that it wasn't. I don't think it was like solar powered. I think it was more just ran on electrical, maybe. I don't know if that even answers your question.
Oh, you're good. I
But
guess kind of just to follow up though, was it something that was portable or was that throughout the house?
oh, it was throughout the house. There was different units and not units, but each had what are they called? The fan, not the fans, the vents
Yeah.
that it came through throughout the house.
Yeah. Totally makes sense. I understand. So you had something that was actually throughout the building.
Yes.
What I'm actually talking about today is something that's portable. You can fit it within your window, which gives you the ability to put in any room that you want. And it's remote controlled and you can control it from your phone as well. So if you are kind of coming from work or if you're in the car, you can turn your AC on from your phone. And that allows you actually, what this means for you is you can come home to a house that's cool.
Oh,
So you don't
yes.
have so you don't have to like get home and be like a little bit like warm and feel kind of gross when you get home. You can walk in to a comfortable environment. But what would that kind of mean to you, kind of walking into that situation?
I don't know. I can't tell you how many times I walked in from like coming home from school or like just running errands or doing something outside and coming into like a fresh air conditioned home is like, oh, it is heaven on earth in Arizona.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very valuable.
And that's actually what I wanted to key on as well, is the value that that brings. You talked about the experiences, kind of the memories that you have associated with air conditioning, not just air conditioning, but spending time with your family. I guess during the summertime, you wanted to find something that you could walk into and feel nice. And that's actually what we wanted to talk about. And it's something that I wanted to show you. I don't have the unit here with me, but the control actually is really, really interesting. I'll have you hold it in your hand. Ta-da. But as you can see, it's pretty easy to use. It's something that, like I said, you can also download the app on your phone. But that way you can control exactly what you wanted. It shows you the energy you can actually save. and we partner with companies in the local area in Rexburg to make sure that you can get affordable rates on your energy when you're using your AC.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's actually what I wanted to talk about. But the price point actually on it is about $780 for the higher version of it. But what is kind of your price range for AC? What do you usually spend on air conditioning?
So I know that normally you can get some like smaller AC units that just barely fit in your window for like $150 to like $300.
Okay.
But also it depends like what kind of house you're how much space you kind of need to keep cool.
Yeah.
Like I know that my husband and I, we live in a bigger apartment, so we need to like cool down the space more. So I'd be open to, maybe getting one that's more of a higher end to cool down the house more, especially because that would be like our only AC in our apartment because we don't have a fan.
Yeah. No, I get that. You mentioned that you had looked into small units before. Have you used them before? What was your experience like?
So I remember that when I was living in Florida, I was doing that little program and we didn't have an AC unit for a really, really long time. And so finally me and my roommates went out and got one. We got one of the smaller ones that just like barely fit in our window. And it was nice. It was really great. We liked it. But
yeah. But you kind of mentioned it's time for something a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'll actually do is I can bring a presentation actually about all the different kind of models, options that you have. But would you say you price something around like the 600 range?
Yeah. I mean, it depends also like on the quality of it because I mean, you're also saying that there's a lot of technology that comes with it, like downloading it to your phone, there's a remote, there's so many like I guess options to kind of use the machine.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe I would even like consider like downgrading, not having to use a ton of technology and just like being able to like click it on as I get home. Like I don't know if that's something that's really important to us, but it's something I'd be interested in for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think the different models, different sizes that we're able to have, I'll bring a couple. Maybe we'll go on, you said, the kind of the lower end of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll bring some that are in that like 400 to 600 range, the two kind of primary models.
But I mean, I'm also open to seeing the 700 to 800 or whatever you said. That might also be really helpful just to see and compare. Maybe I can convince my husband to get the nicer one because quality, luxury life.
Okay.
Just
Perfect.
kidding.
Well, thank you, Emily, for your time.